There is a truth most of us only realize after too much pain. Not everyone deserves to be helped. Some people you lift up once and they remain grateful for a lifetime. But there are others you rescue 10 times and they will blame you the moment you cannot carry them the 11th time. Kindness is not the problem. The problem is that you gave it to the wrong person. The Stoics understood that helping others is an act of power, and that power must be used with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that you only have control over your own mind, not over external events. You cannot change someone who does not want to change. You cannot open the eyes of someone who is determined to keep them shut. And you cannot save someone who is holding tightly to the very thing that is pulling them down. That is why the Stoics do not help impulsively. They observe, they analyze, they recognize who truly wants to grow and who only wants to take advantage of the kindness of others. Stoicism does not teach you to close your heart. It teaches you to set boundaries so that your heart is not damaged by those who do not value it. In this video, we will explore 7 types of people you should not help no matter how compassionate you are. 7 types of people who, according to Stoic philosophy, will cost you your peace, your clarity, and your inner strength the more you try to help them. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. This is how you protect yourself so your kindness is given to the right place and creates real value. Let us begin. Type 1. People who deliberately ignore the truth. There is a type of person who will remain exactly where they are no matter how much advice, experience, or goodwill you offer. These are not people who lack knowledge. These are people who intentionally reject the truth even when it is standing right in front of them. They are not blind. They simply close their eyes because they fear seeing what would force them to change. And for that reason, they are the kind of people you cannot help in any way. Seneca once warned that no wind is favorable for a ship that does not know where it is going. This perfectly describes those who deliberately ignore the truth. They are not short of information. They lack the courage to face themselves. They cling to illusions because illusions feel safer than reality. They reject responsibility because responsibility requires effort. And they will always find excuses to dismiss every piece of advice, every warning, and every opportunity to grow. Trying to help them is like pouring water into a container that has been sealed shut. You can give everything you have, but nothing will ever go inside. They do not receive because they do not want to receive. They do not learn because they do not want to learn. You can point the way, but they will remain where they are. You can shine a light, but they will turn away in order to protect the familiar darkness they have chosen. The danger is that this type of person does not just harm themselves. They can pull you into a spiral of frustration. You lose time, you lose energy, you lose your peace only to realize that everything you did was ignored. They do not change. They do not appreciate. They do not acknowledge your effort. And then you blame yourself for not being able to wake them up. But the truth is that no one can awaken someone who is pretending to sleep. The Stoics understood that real change must come from within. No philosophy, no advice, no help is strong enough to move someone who refuses to look at themselves. Helping them is not kindness. Helping them is a waste of your inner strength. Remember this: you can show the way, but you cannot walk it for them. You can speak the truth, but you cannot force anyone to accept it. And when it comes to those who deliberately ignore the truth, the only clear and wise choice is to step back and let them face the consequences of their own decisions. Type 2. People who see themselves as the center of everything. There is a type of person who never truly wants to be helped. They only want to be served. They do not seek support to grow, but seek attention to maintain their sense of entitlement. These are people who believe the world owes them something. They treat your effort as an obligation rather than an act of kindness. To them, what you do is never enough and will never be enough. The Stoics understood that entitlement is a form of mental chain. Epictetus said that people suffer not because of real problems, but because of their own assumptions and fears. For those with an entitled mindset, their greatest pain is not lacking something. It is not receiving what they believe they deserve. And when you help them, you do not solve the root cause. You simply feed the illusion that there will always be someone who must carry the burden for them. These people never see your effort. If you help them once, they see it as correct. If you help twice, they see it as your responsibility. By the third time, they begin to demand. By the fourth time, they believe you owe them. Their expectations grow with every good deed you offer, and that is what turns you into the crutch they cling to. They do not take steps on their own because they know you will lift them every time they fall. People with an entitled mindset do not grow because growth requires them to take responsibility. But responsibility is the very thing they always avoid. When you help them too much, you unintentionally take away their chance to learn. You are not helping them stand up. You are keeping them in the same place. You are not making them stronger. You are making them weaker. And the price you pay is your own peace, your time, and your energy. Remember this, your kindness is not an unlimited resource. It must be given to the right people. The Stoics never pour their strength into someone who refuses to make any effort. You cannot save a person who sits at the bottom of a pit and refuses to stand up. With this type of person, stepping back is not an act of cruelty. It is the only way for them to finally face their own life. Type 3. People who carry chaos with them. There are people who are not lost. They are walking storms. Wherever they appear, they bring chaos and leave everything around them in ruins. These are not people who need guidance. These are people who pull you into the whirlwind they created themselves. They do not seek help to change. They seek someone to share the storm inside them. And if you step in, you will be swept away before you even realize it. Seneca warned that we must not tie ourselves to those who bring only destruction. Connect with people who make you better. Stay close to those whose lives improve when you are present. But do not turn yourself into an anchor for souls who are sinking because of their own choices. People who carry chaos do not see problems as challenges. They turn problems into weapons. They create pressure and then throw it at you, hoping you will carry the part they refuse to face. If you try to help them, you are stepping into the eye of the storm without any protection. You will face anger, dramatization, exaggeration, and countless conflicts that have nothing to do with you. They will pull you deeper every time you try to save them. And then you realize you have lost your peace because of battles that were never yours to fight. Helping someone who carries chaos is like trying to save a drowning person who refuses to release the stone that is dragging them down. You can use all your strength to lift them, but as long as they hold on to that stone, both of you will sink to the bottom. That is not kindness. That is foolishness. The Stoics understood that peace is the foundation of virtue. When you lose your peace, you lose your ability to think clearly. When you allow a chaotic person to enter your life, you are giving them control over your inner state, something you may have spent years building. Remember this, you were not born to become a container for other people's storms. Not everyone who comes to you deserves to stay. People who carry chaos can only change when they decide to step out of their own storm. And until they do, the best thing you can do is keep your distance to protect your own peace. Type 4. People who always hesitate and never make a decision. There is a type of person who exhausts you not because they create problems, but because they never take a single step forward. They remain stuck at the crossroads of their life. They circle around the same questions. They seek advice again and again, not to take action, but to delay taking responsibility for themselves. This is the kind of person who makes you believe you are helping them, when in reality you are only getting trapped inside their maze of hesitation. Seneca said that being everywhere means being nowhere at all. The indecisive person is exactly like that. They live among countless choices, yet choose nothing. They say they need more time, but time is only an excuse to avoid their own fear. They fear making mistakes, fear failure, and fear being judged. And within that fear, they choose to remain still. But staying still forever is the worst decision a person can make. What drains you is not their problem. What drains you is the way they stretch everything endlessly. They call you for advice. You analyze everything for them. They agree with you, but when it is time to act, they ask for more time. Then they return with the same question, again and again, until you realize they never intended to move. You push with all your effort to help them go forward, yet they keep their feet firmly planted on the ground. Helping this kind of person is like trying to pull a cart whose wheels are locked. The more you try, the more exhausted you become. Meanwhile, they remain exactly where they are without feeling any pressure. In the end, you become the one who is tired from a journey that only you are walking. The indecisive person pulls you into their vortex, a vortex filled with questions, fears, doubts, and endless delays. The Stoics understood that action is what shapes a life. They knew that no matter how long you think, you cannot truly see the path until you start walking. But the indecisive person refuses to take a step. And when they refuse to move, every piece of advice becomes useless. You cannot help someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. Remember this, you can show them the path, but if they will not walk it, your help will only be wasted. And the wisest thing you can do is stop before you lose both your strength and your peace. Type 5, people who deceive and manipulate. Among all the types of people you may encounter, those who live through deception are some of the most dangerous, not because they are strong, but because their dishonesty can erode the trust and peace of anyone who stands close to them. Deceptive people do not only lie to others. What is even more frightening is that they lie to themselves. They create a distorted world where the truth is reshaped to fit their wishes, and anyone who steps into that world risks being pulled into it. Epictetus said that reason requires us to live in harmony with nature and with one another. Deception goes against that natural order. When you help someone who lives in lies, you unintentionally become someone who works against your own values. You start tolerating words that are not true. You try to heal wounds that were created by their own dishonesty. But helping them is like building a house on sinking ground. No matter how hard you try, your effort will collapse because it rests on something that is not real. People who live through deception share one characteristic. They never take responsibility for their actions. If they are exposed, they blame others. If they are questioned, they deny everything. If they are caught, they create another story to cover the one before it. The more you help them, the deeper you are pulled into their web of lies. You cannot tell what is real and what is fake. And at that point, even your own judgment begins to waver. The most dangerous part is that a deceptive person can make you doubt yourself. They turn wrong into right and right into wrong. They make you question things that should be clear. While you are trying to help them find the truth, they are using the truth to manipulate you. They do not need light. They need someone to drag into the darkness with them. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the soul becomes dyed by the colors of the thoughts it embraces. When you stay close to a deceptive person for too long, you are influenced by the distortion they carry. This is why the Stoics firmly step back from people like this. It is not because they lack compassion. It is because compassion must always walk with wisdom. You cannot teach integrity to someone who does not value the truth. And you certainly cannot sacrifice your own peace to protect someone else's lies. The only way to preserve your values is to walk away from those who have chosen to live far from the truth. Type 6, people who are addicted to emotions and attention. There are people who do not come to you to change or to grow. They come to you to be noticed, to be rescued, and to have someone to cling to. They do not want advice. They want an audience for the storms inside them. These are the people who turn every small issue into a tragedy. They live in a constant state of emotional chaos and expect you to live in that chaos with them. And you will quickly realize that the more you help them, the more drained you become. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that strength lies in our mind, not in the events that happen. But emotional addicts are the complete opposite of this wisdom. They let every small event control them. A single comment can make them cry. A minor problem can make them collapse. A small inconvenience can be exaggerated into a disaster. They want you to step into their dramatic world to confirm how important their emotions are. What makes this type of person dangerous is not their emotions. Everyone has emotions. The danger is that they use their emotions as a weapon to manipulate you. They pressure you into caring. They make you feel guilty if you do not take their side. They drag you into conflicts that have nothing to do with you just to prove they are not alone. You become the support for their instability. But that instability never goes away. It only grows stronger every time you respond to it. Helping someone like this is not kindness. It is enabling their dependence. They do not want to stand on their own because standing means facing themselves. They want you to do it for them. They want you to solve every small problem. They want you to always be there to calm every emotional wave they create. But no one can live another person's life for them, and you will be pulled into a spiral that has no end. The Stoics teach that compassion must always walk with clarity. You can empathize with another person's pain, but you must not let that pain destroy your own peace. If someone continually creates crises just to remain the center of attention, you must step back. They are not seeking healing. They are seeking dependence. And there is nothing more destructive than losing yourself just so someone else can feel safe within their own chaos. Type 7. People who carry anger and resentment. Among all the types of people you should be cautious with, those who carry bitterness and resentment are the ones who can hurt you the most deeply. These are the people who see life through a dark lens. They do not see opportunities. They only see injustice. They do not see kindness. They only see reasons to blame. To them, every act of help is twisted and interpreted as an obligation. And worse, they are willing to turn against the very people who once helped them. Epictetus warned that you should never try to appear wise in front of those who do not wish to understand. People filled with resentment are exactly like this. They do not accept advice. They do not appreciate kindness. They do not recognize the value of support. Instead, they see your kindness as weakness. They believe you must help them, that you owe them something. And the more they are helped, the more bitter they become because they believe life still owes them even more. The most frightening thing about this type of person is the distortion in the way they perceive the world. If you help them, they see it as something you are supposed to do. If you do not help them, they see you as a betrayer. If you speak the truth, they see you as an enemy. They turn small actions into major insults. They store every hurt inside and nurture it as part of their identity. And once you step into that world, you are pulled into battles you cannot win. The Stoics understood that resentment is an invisible chain. It clouds the mind and distorts every good intention. You can use reason to speak with them. You can use kindness to soothe them. You can use patience to support them. But they will twist every effort into another reason to blame life. Because they do not want to be freed from their bitterness. They cling to it as proof that they are the victim. The truth is that you cannot help a soul that has locked itself inside darkness. And if you try, the first thing you lose is not your time, but your peace. The wisest thing you can do is step away from the path of those who carry hatred. Only when they decide to let go can the light finally reach them. When you look back at the 7 types of people you should not help, you may recognize something very important. The issue is not kindness. The issue is where you direct that kindness. Not every act of helping brings healing. Not every sacrifice creates value. There are people who will not change no matter how much sincerity, time, or effort you give. Not because they cannot change, but because they are not ready to change. The Stoics understood that helping others is an act of power, and any form of power must be used with clarity. When you give that power to the wrong person, you not only waste yourself, but also unintentionally feed their weakness, their dependence, their dishonesty, or their hatred. Helping the wrong person is not nobility. Helping the wrong person is a mistake that can destroy both sides. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the most important thing each person must protect is their inner peace. When you are pulled into someone else's chaos, when you lose your clarity because you are trying to fix souls that do not want to fix themselves, you are not practicing kindness. You are abandoning yourself. And no sacrifice is worthy if it makes you lose your identity, your purpose, and your inner strength. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that our soul is colored by the things we allow ourselves to be exposed to. If you give all your energy to people who are filled with anger, dishonesty, negativity, or entitlement, sooner or later your clarity and strength will be colored by those same things. Kindness cannot survive in a toxic environment. It will be distorted, misunderstood, and exploited. This does not mean you must become emotionless. Stoicism does not teach you to close your heart. Stoicism teaches you to set boundaries. You can love without sacrificing yourself. You can empathize without letting yourself become exhausted. You can help those who truly want to change without carrying those who insist on dragging themselves downward. Remember this, clarity is the highest form of kindness. You are not meant to save everyone. You only need to give your strength to the right people. And if someone is not willing to help themselves, stepping back is not cruelty. It is wisdom. It is how you protect your peace, your values, and your own path. If these words resonate with you, leave a comment with the word clarity to remind yourself to live with the wisdom of the Stoics. Press like to help spread this message. Subscribe to continue receiving more Stoicism lessons that help you grow stronger each day. And always remember, it is not that you are not good enough. It is that you have learned to place your kindness in the right place.